This is Big Pontiac. And coming today, now, Jonathan Mason said that someone else got killed downtown. I don't know if that's true or not. He said a man got suffocated, a Hispanic man got suffocated. So I don't know if that's really true, but it might be. So you can check it out. But I'm coming on. Caught my attention this morning. I see here. Let me see if I can find it again here. Because I was just, drinking, eating my breakfast, browsing, and let me see if it's still in this browser. I don't think so, looking. But what caught my attention, it was a couple players from North Carolina A&T involved. And what they were involved in was fixing games. Now, it's a twofold attack by exposing this kind of thing, because it's fixed altogether, and the players know it. And so it's already it's fixed, but now they're having a control of the fix, and that's what they don't like. That's what they don't like. That the players see they don't care, and it's just it goes back to that Black Sox scandal. It was okay when the owners fixed the games, but it wasn't okay when the players started, fixing them. And so I was trying to find the article. I don't think they're mentioning this article I have here, which I can share. But yeah, I'm not seeing it now, but it came up earlier. North Carolina A&T had two players that they helped make the point spread. They helped make the point spread. I think they helped with the over and under, and they helped with their own performance. And so, but it was one player left A&T and went somewhere else. I think he ended up going to Delaware State. One player ended up going to China, and I'm not seeing it where I originally ran across it. But I'll give you what I have. And this is now, what we have to remember too is anytime they report players betting and a scandal in that, we have to keep in mind, hey, PJ, what's happening, man? I gotta show you something, but I'll put it up. But I'm about to call you, ask you for some advice. But anyway, so what it does is it legitimizes taking their bread. That's the way they want to take the players' power away. The players have the true power like they should. The players should get paid just like the pros. I mean, you look at this national championship game that's coming. And I already broke down years ago where if you put a pool of all the teams that made the NCAA, every team, all 66, 67 teams, they made enough money to give each player about $30 million. 30 to 60 million is what I broke down the math that time. 30 to 60 million, and that's not even including dudes going all the way. I'm saying it was a big enough pool where they could have gave all the players 30 to 60 million dollars because they had made so much. So the players rightly having the power back, but that disturbs the colleges, that disturbs all the system, because they don't want these younger and younger people now having the power. Now, yes, it has helped the college game that older players want to stay, but they do not like the powers the players have. Now, I know a cat that he went to a moderate college, Division II in Texas. He getting like $5,000 a semester. So he only getting 10 grand, but he's getting 10 grand. So I can't go on too long, so I'm gonna share what I have. But that's what caught my eye. But they want to take the power away from the players, so that's why they come. So it says U.S. federal prosecutors and 20 people on charges related to fixing basketball games in the U.S. and professional basketball matches in China. One current player indicated was the preseason CUSA Player of the Year. Bettors enlisted former players to recruit players. NCAA made 100,000 to 30,000 fixed game. NCAA players made. Now, I did not see the A&T players in this, but this is the names of Potterville, Southern Miss, Tulane, UAB, Alabama State, Robert Morris, New Orleans, Eastern Michigan, and these dudes all have like Albany Christian, New Orleans. Look at their stats. This is the only person that's really trash. 7 points, 4 rebounds. He's trash. He's borderline trash. He's kind of trash too. He ain't really moving. Depending on what position he plays, this is okay. You can get away with this. This is trash. Trash, trash. Now, this was a dude that was hooping. He averaged 16 and really 16 and 6. Had a couple assists. This guy is okay, okay. Borderline trash. And how many minutes? I wish I knew the minutes too. But I did not see the AFP players. Also involved active players, all whom played for the respective teams within this past week. Those include Simon Cottle. Damn, Simon was hooping. 20 points a game at Kennesaw State. Carlos Harris, so another Eastern Michigan connection. Cayman Shell, 8 points. Okay. And Omar Kusazi, okay. Allegations. Oh, right here. The allegations against Hart, Shell, and Kusazi reportedly involved the actions at a previous schools, Hart in New Orleans and Shell. So this cat here, yeah, Delaware State. He played at A&T. He played at A&T. But he said he played at Nicholls State. Like, oh, she's in it. And he played at 4 schools, but he went to A&T. Yeah, this cat, Shell. Okay, and then we got Forrest, Didich, State, Carlos Hart, Shell. Yeah, they got Shell. Allegations against Hart and Shell are from previous schools. See, A&T was involved. But what I saw was one other player from A&T. With the ring money voided, they targeted high-profile players in respective schools. Was named Precinct Player of the Year. Hart's second on the Eastern Michigan. Terry led the Eagles a year ago. Trainers Jim Smith and Roderick were high-stakes bettors. Wow. And we're also named an indictment. Fairleigh Henry allegedly attempted to recruit, who spent 2 years with the Bulls after graduating and before moving to Chinese. Allegedly agreed to participate and recruit other players from, although he's not named in the indictment. Huh. Extensive international criminal conspiracy into players, alumni, and professional bettors who fixed games across the country and poisoned the American spirits of competition. U.S. attorney engaged in point shading involving more than 39 players, 17 again. You know, you putting this out, and this is already a fixed sport. We already know it is. College player received between 100 and 30 grand. Okay. Yes, and let me see. Players who are accused of altering outcomes in games involving Nicholls State, Tulane, Northwestern State, St. Louis, Shell, Fordham, Buffalo, DePaul, Robert Morris, Southern Cal, North Carolina A&T, Kennesaw, Coppin, New Orleans, Abilene, and Eastern and Alabama State. Jamar, what's happening? Thank you for joining. So this goes back to, you know, once the players trying to take a little power, we're going to penalize the players and highlight it. Because again, we just saw the same thing in the NBA being done. They blaming people in the NBA. You know, end of the game, dudes acting different. It's, you know, they were showing the end of the game, dudes acting different. With some games, they just, but I've caught, like I was saying, it was probably 2-3 years ago, but I caught a Timberwolf game where the dude hit a 3 at the end of the game. It made no sense for him to shoot. The 3 did not help them at all, but he shot that 3 and he hit. It was a deep 3. They rarely do that, but he hit it. Again, you know, that's for the bettors. And you know, they guide that sucker in. So, yeah, and I can't go long because I got to go do something, but it's not going to be a very long one. I got about another 10, 15 minutes before I got to bounce out here. So, I mean, that's what it is they want to destroy anything that the power that the players have. They want to destroy that. So isn't it funny that like really, like wrestling and the way it's scripted. Now, if a dude gets hurt, how, you know, that script changes. So if he gets hurt or pretends he's hurt, is that, well, wrestlers usually, when they're hurt. Who's the dude? He was the Undertaker. Was he the Undertaker later? But I forget when he was young. He broke his leg. He was like one of the 80s, mid-80s hot dudes, broke his leg. He was like one of the hot wrestlers, one of the big-time wrestlers. I had to ask Super Slot what his name was, but I think he wasn't the Undertaker. He became another character later. He was a blonde head. He had a butch cut. But I remember one match when he destroyed his leg. I mean, he really destroyed it. He really hurt his knee. You know, that changes. Now it didn't appear because again, you didn't see him for a minute wrestle again, so it appeared like it was a real injury. But again, it's what we see is the ways of manipulating. I mean, think about it. It's manipulating a manipulated game, a microcosm. What did he say at JFK? A microcosm. You're manipulating something that's already manipulated, but you're getting your share because you're helping put it on. And again, whenever the players is looked at, it ain't looking at the leagues. It's giving the leagues a break. It's like, yeah, it's not the league's fault. Leagues doesn't have anything to do with this. So that's what caught my attention. And there was one other player that I didn't see on here that was from North Carolina A&T. If you want to do your own research and look that up, it was one other guy from North Carolina A&T that was involved in the scandal. And it's the money is good. The money's good. But even as it shows the NBA players, you can spread that money around to your family and stuff too. Make that money work for everybody, and that's a lot of times what we see happening. Dudes kind of wanting to help other people and let them put that bread out there. And remember, with betting, you can't make it so obvious, and that's the other part, because it's easy to see patterns. Like I was saying, the pattern in the NBA with Beasley was in a hurry at the end of the games, and anxious at the end of the games. And sometimes he ain't even playing at the end of the game, but he's sitting on the bench anxious. Was he that excited about the game? And it was times where, they were showing him looking disappointed. So, okay. Keep that here. All right. Yeah, take that one. Keep that one here. So, I don't know. I was really listening to Lobo and the fellas last night, and it's interesting some things that came up too. Looking at the Super Bowl breakdown, like the Bills and the Rams. I'm trying to see if my original breakdown had that one in here. Trying to see. No, because I lost on the Bills in that round. No. Oh, okay. I see where I put it. I didn't follow it through. So Bills and Rams. I don't know. Super Bowl. I'm not sure. Again, they made some things where Stafford and was it Kinshaw, the pitcher, the LA pitcher? What's his name? How he just retired. Him and Stafford grew up together. I guess I could see that. I still really look at the Bears Pats. That's still really kind of that's a replay of the Super Bowl. What is it, 46? Was that when the only one that the Bears won? And remember, Mikowski died maybe last year. So they're owed one because of her. I'm looking at. Now the other one that I still see is the Pats and the Seahawks going back to that Super Bowl, the Super Bowl where they threw the interception on purpose. That could be another scenario. Are they going to elevate Donald? I don't know. I really doubt. I don't know. It doesn't seem like they ever want to elevate him. I don't know. So I just don't have the Bills making the Super Bowl, so it's hard for me to look at all the because I just don't think the Bills, they're going to push them through this year. And maybe an underdog thing comes later, but I just don't see it. I don't see them pushing them through. That's why I don't think the Rams are going to make it. I think it's going to be a younger quarterbacks facing each other. That's why my thing on Donald. I really don't look to Donald to move through because I think older quarterback again, or older journeyman. And remember, he was the same dude that choked and he choked last year, and he had I think a better team last year. I think the defense of the Vikings was better than this defense he had this year. I think he had a better defense last year. He definitely had better receivers last year, and he just blew up. What time is it? Okay, he just really blew up. So I don't know. It's hard to to see if they're going to let him go through. I just don't think so. I don't think they're going to let him go through. Sid Julius was a wrestler. No, I don't think that was the wrestler. I don't think that was his name because he didn't turn into the Undertaker. He turned into, oh man, what was, he turned into another character after he broke his name. But I mean, I'll describe him. He was a bigger dude. He did keep like a military cut, but longer, kind of like Billy Idol, but short, but a little longer on top. But he was a cat that was probably 6'4", 6'3", and he really did young. And maybe that was him. But he became a different character later. I can picture him. Again, I'm not a big wrestling fan, but I can picture what his character became. And he had a name something like The Undertaker. Sid Vicious. So I don't know. So, oh, Sid Javastis. Yeah. Sid, see, I don't think Justice. I don't think that was him. I don't think that was him. I think his name was something else. I think his name was something else. I don't know, but he broke his leg, and when he came back, he was a completely different character. But it does alter the matches. Like we know, WrestleMania 1, when Andre could barely walk. Andre really was in the stages of dying. He wasn't a very healthy person then. He just was, had girth and stuff. And he could stand up there, but like when he went down, he needed help getting back up. He told him when to take him down. They're talking to each other as they're wrestling, getting ready to prepare to take the falls. I mean, that's what it is you still got to be able to take the falls. You jump off the top of the fence, you see them dudes don't hardly do that. You see how their bodies got beat up, them dudes jumping from the top of the fences, having to shoot steroids. The steroids be for pain too, you dig? So, same guy, he snapped his leg in the ring. Okay, same guy, yeah, he snapped his leg in the ring. Must be him. But he came back. What was his character when he came back? What was his character when he came back? Because that was nasty. That was on, I want to see, like, this was before TBS. I watched that in North Carolina, I want to say. This was, was TBS National then. Because I lived in North Carolina. I got TBS before, like, Michigan got it. It was like an Eastern channel for a while. Like Southern Eastern channel, TBS. But I think it was either USA, but I think it was a TBS match. So, but I want to say in the 80s, late to mid 80s, and he came back, a dude that wore a mask, and he had like the Confederate, seemed like he had the cross like on his face and his mask, or his makeup was crossed, something like that. But I'm not a big wrestling fan, so I got a little more time. But you got time to get your money in. One of Lobo's partners said that he put the money in, and he put $100 in September on who's going to be in the Super Bowl. And he said if the Bills and Rams make the Super Bowl, he'll win $3,000. And I think they said if you put you would have bet 1,000, you could have made 30 grand. But you can make those kind of bets too. It's like you can make those kind of bets right after the Super Bowl too, and get the odds, even better odds. The one that I used to always get into was doing the Kentucky Derby, doing that early, like almost right after the last one. Wasn't the Big Boss Man, was it? Maybe it was. Maybe. Wasn't the Big Boss? No, I don't think it was him. I don't think it was the Big Boss Man. He was, what was his name? Because I could picture him. He used to come in with a robe, and his paint, he got to paint like the Sith. He started using that red and black paint like the Sith. But before he broke his leg, he wasn't like that. He was like the new dude kind of coming up, and then he broke his leg, and then he came back, and he started wearing that Sith makeup. Like, was it Darth Maul? That Sith makeup with the black and red. Not the striped face, but the Sith makeup. He came back wearing the Sith makeup. I don't know wrestling. I don't really know who to look up for, but maybe I should look that dude up. I really don't care that much. But yeah. So this money out there to be made. Even now, you can put your Super Bowl bets in and get better rates now. So I don't know. I still, as I look at this, it's like it really seems like the Pats are going to be involved. because it's traditional matches. Again, them and the Bears, that they both teams ain't won in a while. I still say the Bears probably are owed one because of McCarthy dying, even though that was a season ago. And the Pats Seahawks, with the Pats getting that one again. In probably the same fashion. You know, a game to the last minute, the Pats pull it out because the Seahawks do something stupid. I could see that with Donald. And so, you know, we do have to look at the possibilities. Rams, Pats, we did see that before. We saw the Rams and the Pats a couple times. You know, Kurt Warner, lost to him twice, didn't he? I know he lost to him at least once. He lost to the Pats. And then we could go Rams, Broncos too, which is a possibility. I just, looking at them matchups, I just don't, you know, and even, yeah, I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing where the Rams is involved. I could be wrong, but just looking at this, I don't see them. And you know, I got the Bears going through. The Bears is a better, I stay historically kind of coming through, young team. The team like 46, decent defense, which could overcome the Pats. So that's what my favorite. I don't know. I'm still going over. We'll have a clear view as we see this weekend. So, but I really think the Seahawks won't be going through. I don't think so. I don't think the Seahawks will go through. So we'll see though. We'll see. This is the fun part of the year, and then we get to party on Monday when they had the NCAA game. They're gonna have the entertainment. So this is a great time of year for people that love sports. And you know, it's good. It's like it's a hustle too. It's a hustle too. So never forget that. You know, sports betting is a hustle, and that's why it's really it's good to understand that it's fixed. Because this, you know, when you see these scandals, they're trying to say, well, now I got to figure out how the scandal's gonna work. You know, I mean, you know, all those questions could be coming to mind, like how is this gonna work? You know, how is this scandal going to work towards a favor of what or what? Because again, if it's greed, it's greed, because we know all the games are fixed with the technology. Because like they, again, in all this their technology is still involved, where they can make basketballs go in and out. Oh, I got Indiana. I got Big Ten all day. I'm going Big Ten. Definitely Big Ten for this one. Definitely Big Ten. I think they're gonna let Big Ten get it too. I really do. I think they're gonna let it be 3 years in a row of the Big Ten. That's what it looks like to me. It's just another solid team. It's not like it's a weak team. And now last year I called it. I called it before. I looked at it like when the 12 came. I looked at it and I knew when Michigan beat Ohio State. When I looked at all the draws, I was like, oh, they're gonna let Ohio State go through this. I called that last year, and Ohio State did win. But I called that when I first saw the matchups. I said, look at this right here. This looks like a clear path for Ohio State to win. And sure enough, they won. And Lorenzo came up with a good one that, you know, team from Indiana losing was Notre Dame last year. Or early last year. So that was a good one by Lorenzo. I forgot about that Notre Dame had lost. So I think Indiana's going to break that. I really do. I think they're going to get Big Ten 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. So that's going to be fun to watch too. So it's a fun time, you know. And it's a, you know, to responsible bet. And that's what it's, you know, a lot of us put this information out is responsible betting. Because going in knowing that you're working with a system that is already predetermined, but you have to see what are the tells, what do they show? Oh yeah, definitely the best team. What do they show? What are the tendencies? And do we see those variations? Because again, when they stay on script, it's pretty easy to see when they're on script. So, so that's it right there. That's it right there. And in a nutful is how intelligent can you follow the game and see and predict what is happening. I guess that's basically what I'm saying. Is how you look at it intelligently and predict these kind of things. That's all, because we know what's like with Brown dropping all them balls. We know that's all on purpose. That's on purpose on him, and that's on purpose with the technology. He dropped 3 balls with the technology. The balls is caught easy. I mean, with your natural hands, he should have caught all 3. But with the gloves, definitely. So it appeared like it was agreement with him and them. Commercials for Super Bowl II. Check out those Little Caesars. Okay, I will. But again, he could have caught all 3 of the balls with the hands and with the technology. And so when you saw the way that and I wonder, like I don't know if it's this advanced, but I remember I've talked about this a few times. There was an article about the future of the NFL, and they were talking about how certain parts of the shoes and the legs would activate. Like you could activate them during times of the games, like to jump a little higher and things like that. And I wonder if it's some type of activation in the gloves or the uniform that would help you. I don't know. I've never thought about that before. That's why I'm bringing it up. It's like, is there something that you do a little more to activate the gloves, or is it entirely on them? Which I think it's entirely on them. But he was short arming all the catches. Wasn't really trying to catch the ball. Not consistently. The effort wasn't there. You know, like it's a way you can like lift your arms out and you not running as fast and you short arm the ball. He did a run like that where he kind of slowed down but stuck his arms out really wide. Y'all remember that one? He stuck his arms out really wide, but he slowed down running. But the illusion looks like, you know, it was overthrown. But if you watch the route, he slows down and sticks his arms out. So that's little tricks of the trade that they do to fool us. So, and as always, I'm not wearing any more now. I wore the Michigan hat, but Michigan basketball's still going on, so you can't say it's just a football hat. But no more Eagles. No more Eagles. I've been quit wearing Viking stuff. So, you know, that's put up for a year. I don't, you know, it's not, I don't get to celebrate to the last game this year. Last couple years, I've been celebrating into the Super Bowl, but not this year's. Yeah, definitely dropping them balls on purpose, man. I mean, both of them, you know, they not activating and him not putting the effort to activate them. I'm throwing that out there. Him not putting the effort out there to activate them is a good possibility too. So either are told and when to turn them on or rub their hands together. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like that's definitely a possibility just because of the Sports Illustrated article I read about 30 years ago about ways that enhance, you know, enhancement. And it was like you could almost like one of the way the socks were for your jump, you could tell that you still had to put the energy into the move. You still had to put the energy into, you know, going to get the ball. And so it could be the same way with the way you go after the ball. But again, it's all game situation. That last one was critical. You know, that last one was critical. So that just wasn't the effort. And then the one I showed where they needed 11 yards and everybody ran deep routes. And even the back didn't run a route out to try to get 11 yards. It's like, come on now, how stupid do you think we are? You run 11-yard routes. I don't care where they lined up. That's where you run. You get your receivers out there and they start boxing out. Back shoulder this way, back shoulder that way, somewhere where they can box out and still get the yardage. And it's got to be a very timed throw. We didn't see that. And Hurt, you know, I'll say Hurt's play showed that they really wasn't going to go that far this year. He didn't make All-Pro. It didn't look like he was trying to make All-Pro. Really didn't. I mean, just looking at it, it's like his effort, his indecision. And again, in the script, that could have been his script. Be indecisive. He looked like just an average starting quarterback. Nothing superior. I mean, yeah, he won one, lost one. So did Russell Wilson. Look at him now. I mean, you know, he was the same way. Won one, lost one. But you should have won two. But, you know, the gamblers didn't want two to be ranked one. So, Well, I'm walking up out of here. Sorry for so many ums. Not used to talking. Just messing with the Super Bowl stuff, trying to think the way they think before we make my final decision. And we're gonna see how the games play this weekend too. Saturday we'll have a real lot clearer. We have a lot clearer path, and then we're looking at the possibilities. It gives us a clearer path to the Super Bowl possibilities Sunday night, and then Monday, championship. Miss a Monday or miss a Sunday, Pro Bowl, fake Pro Bowl, whatever that is, tag or flag, and then the Super Bowl coming up. And what we always do for the Super Bowl, we always count the people who die once the Super Bowl is picked. It starts that night on celebrity and ex-athletes' deaths. Now, right now, like I think in a week or two, well, we're having the Grammys come up too, so that's going to be intertwined as well. Right now, because the Super Bowl is going to be maybe the next day. Was the Grammys the 8th and the Super Bowl's the 9th, 10th? Super Bowl's the 9th, maybe? 8th? Let me see. Super Bowl is the 8th. No. Yes, it's the 8th. Super Bowl is the 8th. And I think the Grammys is the 2nd. So yeah, that'll be included. Because that'll be the first whole week. Because the game is going to be the 30th. I think 30th. This week, that week. So the 23rd is going to be the NFC Championship, AFC Championship game. And then the week of the 26th, it's gonna. Those two events are going to interchange. So you're going to see a lot of, and we're going to count them too. So starting the 25th, 26th, and then we're going to have I think early February. I want to say February 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. But I think the Grammys is February 2nd. I think. Let's look it up. Enter February 1st. So it's that Sunday before the Super Bowl. So yeah, so think about it. Start the 26th. So the energy that we look at. So watch now. Watch now. I would say right now the February 1st. Yeah, those people are on the clock now. I would say we watch the next 2 weeks really intensely. We're going to see the singers, the ones that have they're going to have singing and TV background movies, but we're going to look for singers that pass between now and going into the first. Yeah, I'll come across that. Came across that. So that's going to be very, very. I'm telling you, we're going to see it. We're going to see it. So we're going to start. Let's just have a casual. Pay attention. The next 2 weeks going into the Grammys, how many singers die? All right. So let's count that. Singers for Grammy. All right. Get that in. Okay. Yeah, I gotta get out of here. So this is Big Pontiac. Again, look into that scandal. I'm sure it's gonna come up more. Corrupt has an undisclosed. Yes, and I thought I heard that. But no, it was the other one that was going after Snoop, saying Snoop owed him. That wasn't Corrupt. That was the other one. That was Snoop's cousin. They go back and forth over stuff. But yeah, I kind of heard that Corrupt was sick. I think Darlene said it on Corey Holcomb. I believe so. Yeah, that's one that we can look at. He might be one that they take out during this Grammy session, because that's their agreement. That's when you sign your name in blood. I ain't got to say you sell your soul. You sign your name in blood. I mean, what did you think? You know, the contracts. I mean, that's what him was trying to tell you. If you go through all the different levels of the debauchery, you know, different levels of debauchery. What level of debauchery are you? I mean, that's everything we've been seeing. They've been trying to tell you. You know, all these people go through different levels of debauchery, and they use it against them once they find your weakness. That's what him was all about. They showed you: is it women? Is it drugs? You know, and so they were showing you what is he going with. And the one where he was like, nah, he didn't want the woman. I already got a woman. So they showed that he liked getting high. That's what they showed. Hey, he don't mind getting high. So they'll try to that's something that, you know, he like to get high, he like to drink. So that shows them, well, this is how, you know, we got to come at him when he drinking and getting high. I don't know. I couldn't rewatch it. It was slow in a lot of ways, but that's really like what you see. You know, you see the different levels that's offered to him, and to see, and that's everything that we saw with Mossad, Epstein. I mean, we saw all that stuff, and that's what they do. Is the Godfather too? Way back in the '70s or early '80s showed you that how they get them. You know, they political and can and help you move something, and they get shitty with you, and you just show them, boom, boom. Well, we know what your weakness is, and then catch you up in your weakness. So that's how they operate, you know. So don't be surprised by it. But hey, I gotta go. So you know, dig yourself, get into yourself. It's scary times up here. It really is. I mean, it's, you know, you can drive into a hornet's nest 20 miles. It's a hornet's nest. It's people out there, and then it's interesting for them to say that the people are paid to be out there. They're not. You know, not the numbers are not. Most of them people are just against the system. The system, you know, the system is out of hand in a lot of ways, and people are up and like you're supposed to do. And it's funny, you know, they're telling people to revolt in Iran, but this very country is doing the same thing. This very country is doing exactly what the Iranian people are doing, but yet they're in favor of those people. They're not in favor of the Americans do it, but the Iranians do it because we know the Greater Israel Project is what they want to accomplish there, and that's the goal is to give the Jewish faith people half of Iraqian lands. That's the long term goal. Why they doing all this? So they need expansion, and that's why they cleared that one out. They got that. So now they're trying to get more land over there so they can have a stronger base, and the U.S. can have a stronger base. Because again, the U.S.'s base in the Middle East has always been Israel. And then they got bases all around that sucker. So, I mean, but that was their main force. You know, they're part of, and I'm not going to use any of their spells, but part of their investigative force too. You know, the investigative branch of all this is part of all this as well. So, all right, till we meet again, keep your head up. What do they say? Keep your pecker hard.